What's up, y'all? What is up? Welcome to the 5-Minute Review. My name is EJ. What is up? It's your girl EJ. It's up? It's your girl EJ. When he was like, "Baby, please," I was like, "Yes, Dwayne." Oh my God, that was such a good time.
Oh, I never knew love would come and find me one day.
What's up, y'all? What is up? It's your girl EJ, and welcome back, y'all. So today we're going to be talking about Queen Charlotte. This is a Bridgerton story. If you guys are watching this on the replay, then make sure to go ahead and type in #replay and let us know what you think about the show. So I'm going to go ahead and bring the squad on. I got my girl Moochie in the building.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Hey, girl. And let me go ahead and get Tamika on in here.
Hey, y'all. Hey, what's going on, y'all?
Dude, just ready to talk about this show. Been waiting to talk about it. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm excited too.
I liked it.
I'm glad they did this.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and say what's up to everybody who stopped through. We got Savannah. Thank you for stopping through. We got Rashonda. We got Queen in the building. The big homie Candy Love is in here.
What's up, Candy?
Hello.
Hey,
Daria is in the building. Hey, Daria.
One's World. Hey, Inyo.
All right, y'all. Tall Glass. What up? What up? So,
what's up, Tall Glass? Oh, you did binge watch? All right, that's what's up.
Binge watched it. That's what's up. Okay, y'all. So it's a lot to talk about. So we're just gonna go ahead and jump into it. Honestly, I just really was thinking we would just talk about the show as a whole. Instead of kind of going episode by episode. I did actually pull up let me see what you call this. Okay, so I did actually pull up so we would know like what was going on in each episode to kind of keep us on track somewhere. I wanted to start with this though. So I have some photos, guys, and I just want to get your first impression of kind of what you guys thought about this in general as a whole. So let me get those pulled up. Get this out of here. All right. So, and this is going to be each character. So the first character, of course, is going to be the young queen. What are your first impressions on the young queen, Tamika?
I think this was a good pick. She's an excellent actress. I want to see her more stuff. I wasn't familiar with her. I don't know if she did play in other things. I didn't see her. But I think for, what we know of the older Queen Charlotte, this was a great pick for the young one.
Yeah, I think so too. What you think, Moochie?
I loved her. You know why? It was so accurate to the pictures that they show her profile.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I got the most from it. I was like, only thing that was a little off, how they showed her complexion darker in the paintings. And I thought she did an awesome job. I would love to see her in more things. It was beautiful. Yeah. Like I would want to see her. Like since we saw Cat Stark from Game of Thrones as his her mother-in-law, I'm hoping we see her in House of Dragons. That's how much I like.
Thank you for y'all know my mind go blank. I'm sorry, I mean to cut you off, but through this whole thing, I kept saying, "I know this lady. Where do I know her from?" And now you just made me remember.
It's like ding, 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 ding.
Yep, that's exactly where she is from.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So, I mean, honestly, I thought she was amazing. I thought she did a wonderful job in this. I really, really loved her. I look forward to seeing her in different things. She killed it. I mean, it's point blank and period. She killed it. All right. So, guys, here we go with old George, the young George. What were your first thoughts of young George, Moochie?
I was glad he was good looking because when I saw it, she didn't see him. It's like he wasn't around. She's thinking she's going to marry some old guy. And then, he's a looker too. So you climb down off this wall and meet my husband.
I That's right. I was like,
I liked it.
the girl. I was like, oh, he kind of cute. I see you. She not like
Mhm.
him. What did you think about him, Tamika?
Yeah, because I was with her. I mean, come on now. When you know that you are set up to be married to somebody, you don't know them from a hole in the wall. You don't know how they going to be. When she said troll or monster, whatever, I was cracking up. She trying to get away, and then how they got introduced and everything. But George was definitely fine. I was like, so what's wrong with him? Because he seems smart, you know. He got the looks. I was like, it got to be something there.
And he's charming. So it's like, yeah, well,
Right.
you know, you waiting for that other shoe to drop.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she
Exactly.
thinking he look good. She thinking he gonna be a hoe. So that's what she was thinking. And I
Mm-hmm.
thought it almost too in the beginning. Because how
Yes.
Okay. Nah, real talk. I was like, something got to be wrong with him because this too good to be true. Now let's go to oh God, the Danburys, Agatha and Herman Danbury. What were your first impressions of this couple? I mean, I know where we first saw them at, so that was a little interesting to see how we first were introduced. But what were your first thoughts, Tamika?
Yeah, this gave me even more respect for Lady Danbury because I already like her, you know, and how her swag was and everything. But baby, I was like, did we really need to, you know, see all of that? We could have still got the point across without all of this happening. They were funny too because she was actually the one making a lot of moves and being really smart. You know, I guess we'll get into it more. But he saw, you know, that he was the man and he was the one that was making everything happen. It
Exactly.
definitely gave me more respect for her.
Exactly. Hold on. Let's see. Shari said that this is a 21-year-old India's first major role. She is known for her roles on the British stage. Well,
Oh,
she
thank
is
Okay.
you. That was
a
a good
major career.
a
Mm-hmm.
good fun fact. Thank you.
Yes.
For sure, for sure. What you think about Moochie? What did you think about? Oh, I moved the thing. My bad. Hold on. Of Agatha and Herman.
Agatha's my girl. I like her. Herman thought he was gonna be opening doors over there, but it was a different story. He thought he was gonna get in those rooms and you
Mm-hmm.
know, things is not that. They barely want to address him as his title.
Yeah.
And she's actually royalty.
Yep.
And she wanted to make sure and make it be known that she came from royal lineage in Africa.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I liked about her. Because she was like, no, you're going to address me by my name and you're going to pronounce it right. So
Facts.
that I'm going to leave it there in that area because this, out of all the characters, she's my favorite. The younger version. I like the older version too. But she is my favorite right now.
That's what's up. Okay, let's move on to I have one of the queen by herself, but just the council as a whole. What were your first thoughts on the council, Moochie? Like this whole thing, this experiment, this whole situation that they have set up and how they're moving. What'd you think of them?
Because she's trying to hide stuff from him, which we don't know at this point yet what's going on. So she's basically navigating everything, and they letting her know if it's something wrong with him, he can't be the king. And she's like, no, it's not. You know, I love how cool she played it. Um, it wasn't people bringing back news to other people, so that's what I like. Their circle was tight. So you know, I liked that. I liked how she structured this, but I kind of was feeling bad that Charlotte was left in the dark.
Yeah, that's true. Amber said that she would like to see a spinoff with Lady Danbury too, and I actually would too. After learning some things about her, I would really love to see just a more in-depth view of her, the just her as a whole, like where she has been in life, like what she's been up to, what she's been doing. Like honestly, that character was really appealing to me as well. What did you think about the council, Tamika? What did you think about their little circle?
They had a couple different things going on with the council to me. Sometimes they was coming off like they was haters. I guess it's because they did know some details, and we kind of know that the queen is, you know, persuading things to look a certain way. And it felt like they was trying to call her out on it, but then it would be like, okay, we got to also calm down and be respectful of certain things we can't say. So on the one hand, they would say something negative, but on the other hand, they would be like, oh yeah, he's just great. He's just perfect or whatever the case may be, like at the same time. So I think is the one that's sitting right next to her. He was always throwing the most shade, and I was calling him grumpy because he just stayed, with the evil face. Even when it was times when she would smile and look like she was pleased and happy with what was going on, when she would look at him, he always had the same face. So,
yeah, Lord Butte.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was something else. And I'm right there with you guys on the council. They did try to keep things tight. They didn't let things get out. So I will give them that for sure. But you definitely tell there was a lot of shade being thrown. Lord Butte, he didn't want to go back to the parliament with no nonsense, I guess you could say. They were doing what they had to do. So I get it. But it was just so interesting to me how she kept speaking on behalf of the king, but I'm just a woman, but I can't. I'm just like, oh my goodness, you're making all the decisions right now. But so they were definitely interesting for sure. Let's go to the next one, which is the queen herself. Now, for me, the queen, I don't know. I felt indifferent about her. When I first saw her, I did notice that she was definitely, all I thought about was the red wedding. That was but I don't know. There were a few moments that I was just like, come on now. Now I get why she had to be the way she was, but when she did that thing with the mole, which I'm gonna show y'all that right there, I was done for. I'm like, how you gonna lick somebody's face and try to wipe the mole off her face? I was like, come on now. But the ending, I was like, when she came back and she was, when she acknowledged her as being the actual queen, that part I was like, oh, okay, we done came all the way around. She was, trying to ride for her son. What do you think about her, Moochie?
You're on mute.
I liked her because she was really protecting her son at all times.
Yeah.
She didn't even trust Charlotte at first. She wanted to, before she let her she still had her guards up with her sometimes because she wanted to make sure that her son was going to be okay. And she wanted to make sure she kept the throne. She wanted to make sure her son didn't look weak. So, I like her character. She wasn't as bad as Catherine, because Catherine did a little bit too much where it cost them their lives. But I love this. I love her.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What do you think, Speaker? Let me get this off your screen.
Oh, I liked her overall. I understood that, she pretty much knows how the game is played and was playing it, to the best of her ability and trying to make sure that people was going to still put some respect on her son's name, regardless of what, other issues he may have. And they was going to get this in, and they was going to run the kingdom how they were supposed to run it. Now, there was times that I didn't care too much for some of the stuff she would say to Charlotte or to Lady Danbury. I was like, all right, calm yourself down, girl. But I got why she was being the way she was being.
Absolutely. And I think that's what the biggest thing is that she was doing it for a reason. You get it. But yeah, she was throwing some shade sometimes. All right. Moochie looks like she got a super chat from I Am Strange Peaches. That's a cute name.
Hey.
Yes. A Lady Danbury, Sierra Leone backstory. I would love that. That would be so dope.
I would too, because when I first saw Bridgerton, she was like one of the first characters that stuck out to me. And I remember wanting more of, her backstory. And I remember definitely wanting more of Queen Charlotte backstory. So when this came, I was like, okay, wait a minute. I guess they was listening, paying attention. So maybe we'll get that. I really hope so.
Okay.
I would love to see her backstory because what she's the lineage she's saying she came from.
Right.
She came from warriors. So yes. I would love to see her backstory. So.
Okay.
And then to hear her, well, I don't know if we're going to talk more about it later, but even when she talks about, how she was taught to marry.
Yes. Yeah, we definitely got to talk about that. Shout out to D-Town. You already know Dallas in the building all day, every day. What's up, Vetta? Let's see here. Let's see what else we got in the chat. I think a lot of people would like to see that Lady Danbury spinoff. I hope y'all out there listening.
Right.
Look, we could start a hashtag, y'all.
We need that. We need that in our lives. We need that spinoff. Let's see. The council primary concerns was for the monarch and how things would look to the British population. Fact, sorry, definitely. Okay, yeah. All right, got another super chat in here from One's World. I couldn't stand the princess, but I understood her more when she explained her backstory. And then let's see what Ember had to say. I thought she was a princess once her husband died. She didn't have as much power as the lords.
Yes, she was a princess. They were calling her princess.
I keep saying queen, but yeah, she was a princess. I apologize. Mm-hmm. That's my bad. Because I'm just thinking of her as
right.
And yeah, but yeah, she's definitely a princess. So. Mm-hmm. And I think I read that super chat already. Okay, so let's go to the next one. You know, players be messing up too, y'all.
And I thought that was another interesting aspect as well, like how the woman, once the husband, passed, we saw that with a couple of these situations. It was like they don't hold certain titles no more. They may not be able to get certain things no more. So what we gonna do? What's supposed to be your option? Is supposed to be to get another man.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. That was crazy to me because you would think you would get to hold on to that title.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand why she didn't marry him.
Oh, to my lady Danbury?
Yeah, like why she didn't marry him?
Well, she didn't marry him because of everything that she went through. Like,
yeah,
I know she didn't want to. I guess she didn't want to lose her status or whatever. But now
it wasn't even about status. It was about the life, how she was raised. She was
because I think she thought about it. She actually said it. As soon as he even asked her about courting, she was like, wait a minute, maybe this could be a way. He got this, he got that. And she did like him. But I think when she really thought about it, it was like, I've never had a life for myself. I literally lived everything for somebody else. And now I want to know how it feels to just be on my own. Like, I don't even know what I like. That was crazy to me. That when you think about it like that, like everything she was taught was based off of him. It's kind of like in Coming to America when he bring the girl in the back and be like, what do you like? Whatever you like.
Whatever you like, my kid. Like a dog.
Right.
Fuck like a dog.
Yeah, that was crazy. But Adolphus, y'all, what did y'all think about Adolphus?
I liked him.
Yeah.
I liked him. You know who I had a problem? I couldn't stand the doctor.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, that doctor was. And I got him up here. So since we all know that we like the Dolphins, let's move on to these kids. I can't get pictures of them. Them kids, y'all.
They was horrible, y'all.
I don't know how I didn't realize that they had so many kids. I didn't realize they had so many of them.
They was just getting it in.
Yes. That was the one thing they knew how to do.
Okay, they had that. Now, on one part, she said we were able to have 15 kids by ourselves. So I'm assuming maybe they lost a couple. Mm-hmm. And there's only 13 of them.
Right.
Let me read this comment real quick from Veta. Women could own nothing. She didn't want to marry for need. She wanted to live on her own terms, especially when he said he wanted children. She was done with children. Yeah, she was out of there.
Absolutely.
She was like, no, thank you. And then Shari says, historical fact, King George III ascended the third after his grandfather's death. That is why she was Princess Augusta.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, coming with the facts.
Oh, all right.
I love that.
Let's see what Candy had to say. Candy said she did want him, but she needed freedom and wanted to be the heir on her own. What about Lady Danbury, 4 children? Why didn't she raise them? I think she did raise them, but then they left and went off. They just wasn't there. She was like,
yeah. A lot of them had like nannies that was spending more time with the kids than the kids. Because I know she said something about the father not seeing them but every couple of months, and then she kind of apologized to her son at one point, like, I know you don't really know me, you mostly spending time with the nanny, but you gonna get to know me now, and you got to step up, so it's crazy how they would be little kids, but it's like, you got to be the man in the house now. He was so adorable. He was like, okay.
Yes, I liked that conversation that she had with her son, because she was like, she told him where he come from, and she was like, you are a warrior. You are Lord, and when she said his name, and then she was like, you are a warrior. And I like the way she was speaking that into him. It was really cool.
Yeah, it was. He was so adorable. He was so well spoken.
Mm-hmm.
It was so cute. Now, what did you think? Because I feel like we got a bonus in this show. We got a lot of love stories. We got some that were like just, kind of on the side. They didn't really go into them a lot, but we did get some extra bonuses. I love y'all. Like, I'm a huge sucker for love. So
me too.
This was speaking to my heart when we saw all these little things happening around us. What were y'all thoughts on Brinsley and Reynolds?
They were interesting because they were complete opposites in a lot of ways, but at the same time, they had this connection. And it was also crazy, like when the queen later's kind of going through it, and she asked him, like, you never had nobody that you cared about, you don't got no family, like she never even knew, anything about. And he was like, oh no, I didn't have time for that, but we know that, he had his love. So
he had his love, and when they was getting it, they was getting it.
Right.
Okay, so I like that. Like, you know what it was with me at first? They really didn't like each other at first, because he's like, look, you gotta tell me what's going on, because she's over here by herself and this ain't right. And then he opened up to him once he saw what was going on. But you know what part got me too was when he was saying he thought he was cheating on him, and he's like, "Oh, you down here for this?" And he was like, "No, I'm down here for the king. This is not for me. I'm not seeing nobody." He was so like really adamant, like, "I'm not seeing nobody." I thought it was cute, like he was really
I like
his jealous side.
I like Brinsley a lot.
Yeah.
So than Reynolds, but I really, really like, and maybe it's just because we didn't get to see Reynolds as much, and maybe you just got this connection with Brinsley, but I really enjoyed his character.
I did like those little moments where you could tell that Reynolds, pretty much knew the king well, when he had that moment where he was kind of about to have one of his breakdowns at the table and he touched him. Yeah. I was like, you could tell, and he was ready to go in on that damn doctor too. Like, it was different little moments they did show that he really genuinely cared about him. But yeah, I wanted to know what happened to Reynolds too.
Yeah, they were basically torturing him. No.
That was one of my biggest questions, like towards the end when he was dancing. I was like, where the heck is Reynolds? Because, usually every time they come to, what was it? Oki. What's the name of the place where he stayed? Oki, Sal? I can't remember the name of
the place where he look at the stars?
No, where he be in the observatory. Was it Key? I think it's Key.
Yeah, Key, I think.
But it's
Q. It was something with KEW.
Yeah. Q. It's some letter. But when every time they go there, Reynolds is always there. And at the very end, you don't see Reynolds there.
Right.
Where the heck is Reynolds? So I feel like it's something that if they bring this back, which I'm hoping that they bring it back, and I'm really hoping that they bring this back, that maybe we'll get some insight into that. Maybe that's one of those things they just kind of left us wondering with. I was certainly wondering. Let's see what Juan had to say. I thought maybe Reynolds got dismissed because George got worse. I doubt that. I think that he was going to be by his side forever. You remember when they were in the bathtub and they kind of talked about that?
Yeah.
That was so cute. They talked about being able to serve together, and if these two basically stayed together. But we all know that,
Yeah, he was saying anything is possible. One can always hope.
Yeah. All right, y'all. So let's look at, so let me get this up. So the first episode was the betrothal, where it says that betrothed against her will to King George, young Charlotte arrives in London on her wedding day and faces scrutiny from the monarch's cunning mother. Now, there was some times in this when Mama, she was doing a lot. I'm trying to get us back off of here. Hold on, give me a second. There we go. Okay, where Mama was doing a lot, and Let me see if I can find some of my clips, y'all, because this one clip, I wanted to jump through the TV. This one right here. Let's see if we can
As
see
many
it.
babies as possible for my son. Yes, Your Highness. Will I be introduced to His Majesty soon? Or
Look, I don't think I'm the only one that wanted to jump her because the queen to be looked like she was ready to go. Moochie, what do you think about this particular scene?
I was like, let me find out she's trying to rub the black off of her. Let me find out.
Okay, because she was doing way too much. What did you?
Yeah, that's when I didn't like her.
Because it was a lot. She's like, you got these hips. I'm like, baby making hips. That's the 1st thing we gonna
exactly. Looking at her like, stop.
Okay, but when she rubbed that
childbearing hips.
So, do y'all think that the reason why they went all the way to Germany was because of the king's condition? Is that the conclusion that we got from that?
That's the conclusion I got from
it.
Because the way they gossip in like those royal circles, that would have got out real quick. If it was like, he's marrying heiress Stephanie, and it would have got out really quick. Because you know how she's gonna talk to her friends, so they figure if they do it, and I didn't like the fact that they was calling it an experiment.
Yeah, I didn't like that either. Hey, Greta. Yeah, I didn't like that at all either. Would have Mike got a reflex slap? I know, right? What is you doing? What's up? What's up, Tika? I know she wasn't trying to rub the color off. That clip alone makes me want to slap the firecracker out of her. Okay, yeah, she was doing too much. All right, let's look at another clip, y'all. Let's see what we got in here. I just popped up a bunch of clips, so I don't know what I actually have in here. We'll just talk about them.
Because I think he may be a beast.
A beast?
Or a troll.
Who are we discussing?
Oh, well, that is impertinent. None of your business. The king. No one will speak of him. No one.
Just trying to go over a wall so that she does not have to marry me.
I love that part. She was like, okay, I'm like,
okay, that was so cute. Sneak, I'm gonna bring you in. Go ahead and talk about that scene to me. What you thought about it, how you felt, all that good stuff. We talking about our feelings today, y'all.
Yeah, I loved it. I was cracking up because she told her brother, like, okay, I'm gonna do this. Of course, they had their discussion, and she already, wasn't 100% in, but it was like, all right. But then I think it also was like they was already trying to change her, like that other clip you showed with the mother and her checking her. Then after the fact, I think she said something along the lines of like, I didn't know she was going to be that dark. I thought she was going to be lighter. I said, child. Then, of course, the hip bearing. Then she told her clothes was too flashy. She wanted her to wear like another dress for the wedding. So I think with all of that, she just was like, nah, I'm getting the heck up out of here. Nobody wanted to tell her anything about him. She was like, well, what is it with him? How do he look? And they all was just not answering her. So when she went to climb over that wall, and then he came and she was like, help me. I'm trying to get out of here. I don't know what's wrong with this guy, and he found it funny too. He's like, well, I can tell you, he's not that and he's not that, because I'm him.
I just like the way he said, oh, she doesn't want to marry me.
Okay,
I like that part. The details, Shonda, she put in her instructions to the production that they put moles do prosthetic. Okay, because Golda has moles, so India had to have them to be on. Oh wow!
Okay,
that's a good fun fact, Vita. I like that.
Look, y'all coming with all
child, the prosthetics they put on Lady Danbury husband, child. They didn't even have to make that man look like that. He don't look nothing like that in real life.
I know. And then she had to lay up in there. He was like, he was just like, yo, he was getting it though.
Okay, listen.
Look, he got into the moment he was out of here. He came
yes.
I wish I could play that clip so much. I got this part for y'all though.
Right.
Yo, I was watching this
Ooh,
with
Lord.
somebody, and they was like, "Are they doing it?" He said, "They're not doing it." I said, "No, they're doing it." He's like, "No, they're not doing it."
Shout
Listen,
out to Lady Danbury.
okay, girl, they was
She was
doing.
letting them look. She was throwing it in a circle, throwing it back.
They was doing too much. You know what was so interesting is that every time he got bad news, every time he got good news, he was ready to go. Like
Right.
crazy with me. I was like, dude, how old are you? Like, I know
Mhm.
what kind of herbs and tonics are you taking? Cause
Look,
Yes. And then she was telling her,
I got bad news. Come on, let's go get it. I got
okay,
good news today. I'm a
right. She's like, warn me. You can't just throw stuff like that on me.
Look, he was mad when she went to go talk to the queen.
Mm-hmm.
Why did they
exactly.
ask to see you and not me?
Right.
Yeah, his sex drive was crazy.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
it was those teeth. No, okay, baby. Them teeth was out of this
But
world.
she was giving it up though. And then she
Okay.
still talked to him like she loved him. That's what I
Mm-hmm.
liked about her. She was smooth with it, yo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Exactly. As a matter of fact, since we're already on them right now, let's talk about this situation where she talks about when she's talking to. I can't think of her handmaid's name right now, but can't think of her name for some reason. I think it's Cora, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, I
She's
believe
talking to
so.
her, and yeah, Cora. She's telling her about how she was groomed basically for this man. Like ever since she
Right.
was 3 years old, everything that she did was about him. Nothing was ever about her. So it feels like in her mind, it was this plan, like at some point he's gonna die. You know, I don't know if it was a screw him to death,
Mm-hmm.
but at some point he's going to die. What did you think about just that whole story and kind of talk about the part where he actually dies and when she comes out of the room, you know, when she realizes that he's dead? Kind of talk about that with us, please, ma'am. Moochie.
Oh, with
Yeah, you
that, shoot. Okay, when she came out of the room, she was kind of unsure if he was gone. But then when she came out and spoke to her housemaid, and she was like, "No, he gone. Like we about to be free, and I'll be able to live my life." That's how she was. Okay, wait, should I get dressed? Oh, I loved it. I loved it. And then when they rang the bell, and then she was like, "Ah!"
I was
It was
like,
just good. It was just
that
good.
was so great. That was such a great moment. Tamika,
Mm-hmm.
tell me what you thought about that moment. Um,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with Moochie. Like she went through so many different emotions, and it's understandable because on the one hand, I mean, just when she gave Cora that breakdown, like I've never everything I was taught to like, you know, the food he liked, the wine he like. I think this wine is disgusting, but yet I'm standing here drinking it because it was his favorite. You know, I was taught that gold was my favorite color because it was his favorite color. So she had no identity of her own, and she was being taught this since she was 3. And then, you know, she thought she was going to feel one way when he was gone, but of course, you know, you can assume or think how you're going to feel, but when it's happening, it's like I'm feeling things that I wasn't expecting to feel, because you really can't know everything you're going to feel. And even Cora says to her, like, you were married to this man for years, so it's only natural that there would be a part of you that mourns him. But yeah, she was at first like, wait a minute, girl, we ain't gonna have to run these baths no more. Like, oh, happy day.
okay.
I'm free. I'm free. Okay.
She was just like, I'm
Mhm.
free.
And then it also was the other aspect of thinking that he was rich and he had all this stuff intact, and then finding out, you know, he didn't, and what's gonna be her next plan. So it was so many different dynamics with him, you know, passing that she really didn't even think about.
Exactly.
I think he went broke for that party.
He probably did.
I really think he went broke for that party because
Mhm.
he wanted to go all out because he was really trying to impress people.
Mhm.
Yeah, he wanted to be a part of society
Yeah.
so much that he was willing to go broke for it. And the fact that when it was all said and done, you know, she thinks that she has all of this money, you know, that her husband, you know, that she's set in a way, and then to find out that he did all of that for status and titles and
Right.
like, dude, like that is so crazy to me. But you know, for some people, they really want that status that much. He really wanted all of that. He wanted to be in the what he said. He wanted to go. He wanted to hunt with them.
Right.
Go into them little places that they go where they do their little stuff. What they be
He
doing.
wanted to go to all the socials, the operas, all of that stuff. And they was like, no, you know, we're not doing any of that.
But you know what? That's what I like to. No, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go.
No, I was gonna say that's what I liked about Lady Danbury is that she made sure he was able to get this because even kind of loathed him in a way. There was that moment when they were in bed together. I think when he was doing it from the side because you know they had each these.
Yes.
But and she tells him like you're just as good as they are. You know,
yeah.
Moments where she's always uplifting him, and I really admired her for that because I was like, I don't know too many people who could do that.
Yeah.
Did it? You know what I'm saying?
She definitely had a different type of strength about her because I don't think I could have did it. And I agree. She would have her times when she was encouraging him. She would have her times when she was fighting for him and fighting for herself. And he wouldn't even know, like I said, that he was getting in certain places and having access to things because of her and all the work she was putting in. Even when they got the house and land, he was like, well, you know, how we get this? She's like, I don't know. I guess, you know what I'm saying? You persuaded them, but the whole time it's really her. So it was really like the strength of a woman for real, for real.
But that's all she had, and look at it. I felt bad for her after that.
And she knew how to handle the princess and come at her like, okay, you want this from me, I want that. And it was funny when the princess was like, oh, well, you want money? She was like, girl, I got money. I ain't talking about no money. I'm talking about land. I'm talking about, you know, having that title. I'm talking about a house. I'm talking about me and my people being able to get, you know, to another place where we not going to the opera. And then, you know, princess starts talking about, now you naming too much stuff. You ain't gonna get all that. But I loved how hard she went for her.
I'm glad she set the bar high.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I loved how we got to see how the relationship between her and the queen actually because I always wondered about that in Bridget.
And she was always real with her.
Always keeping it real with her. What did Candy say? EJ. Oh, I'm so happy. But yeah, she was keeping it real with her.
Right, we did it. I did it. Right, Candy Love. Like, no, you ain't do nothing, sir. Have a seat.
We have several seats back. Hey, so guys, when the show first started out on that first episode, when they come in there, did y'all feel it? I don't watch the show. Just okay. Thank you.
It's good though. You may have to watch Bridgerton to understand this.
Yeah,
because a lot of people was thinking that, but you don't.
Yeah, this is totally separate.
It's totally separate.
You don't have to. Looking at Bridgerton only gives you a better. I would say gives you more. For me, it made me respect some of these characters way more.
Yes,
you had a bigger love for them.
I would agree with that, but you don't have to see that to understand this.
Exactly, because with the queen, I ain't gonna lie. When in Bridgerton, I didn't really, I was like, it'd be cool to know her story, but I wasn't like just crazy about her. At the beginning of the show, Tamika, what did you think when? I just want to know if I was the only person, but I kind of had this thing where I was like, kind of bringing over that Bridgerton energy about the queen, and I was like, the first thing she gonna ask is he dead? Like, I didn't know where we were going.
Yeah,
the whole thing, and I guess they did that on purpose because I was like, dang, that's the first question you gonna ask. Did you feel like did you know this was gonna be this epic love story when it all came down?
No, I mean, I didn't know where they was going. I definitely was waiting and watching and trying to figure it out. When she first was saying, is he dead? I kind of thought to a certain degree that maybe he was coming here to tell her that, the king had died, because we were seeing, if you did watch Bridgerton, you knew that he had, illness and different things in there and stuff like that, but you really didn't know how far back his sickness went and all the other, details in between. So then when he said no, he wasn't coming there for that, and she's like, man, you waking me up out my beauty sleep, I was cracking. Then I'm like, well, is it her brother? Because I'm like, I know he coming here for something important. He ain't gonna just, like she said, come and interrupt her for nothing. So then to come to find out, that it had to do with one of her kids and giving, having the childbirth, and women did die in childbirth. That was unfortunately something that was happening. It still happens today, but I don't know if it's happening more now, if it was happening back then more, because the rates have been going up again, but that's a whole nother discussion. But it definitely was something that did happen. And then she was killing me when she was going, prayers, sorrows, everything. I was like, yo, she is a trip.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, that was so funny.
Sorrows, prayers.
Let me see if I have that.
But yeah, I didn't really know where they was going at first with that.
Okay, yeah, because I felt that same way. I was like, I don't know where the heck they going with this. I'm looking at my notes, y'all. Let me pull up another clip. Let's see what we got. We got that one.
I cannot marry anyone. I never want to be married again. Adolphus, I spent my life breathing someone else's air. I do not know any other way. Now it is time that I learn to breathe all on my own.
Agatha?
So
I felt bad when she was saying she didn't want to marry him because she really liked him.
Yeah,
she really liked him, but she was worried about. I can't say the status. I think she just wanted to live her own life and be her own person and like what she wants to like and love what she wants to love and love who she wants to love.
Yeah, without being tied to anyone else, because once you're tied to a husband, especially that time, your life,
lose your identity.
Their life, like there's so she wanted to keep who she was, and I get that. So I'm not mad at that at all, especially after we found out about that whole situation with her, not being able to be a child. That was so heartbreaking, to say the least. But let me see what I got for you, Moochie. So when was the first time that you realized that there was something really wrong with the king?
Something seemed weird when he came near when she came to that place where he was looking at the stars. But then when she kept seeing him walk through the garden with no shirt on, I was like, nah, something ain't right with him.
Yeah, something was definitely off. Like that moment, remember that moment where they get back, they're supposed to be having their honeymoon, right? Right then I was like, okay, so this what we doing, King? This what we doing? You about to leave on your honeymoon? He just leaves, and then that moment when she says, I thought you were just George, when he tells her, I am your king. And she was like, oh, pardon me, your highness, or whatever she said, I don't know all the words, but she was like, I thought you were just George, because that's what he told her when they were out, when she was trying to climb over the wall. Girl, I was boohooing through. It was a lot of moments where I was really crying throughout this whole situation. I'm gonna play you another clip. Okay, this part right here,
I thought you
this
were
one got me.
visiting a brothel in this one-of-a-kind observatory room, sleeping and eating and staring up at the forge.
What?
Say something!
I do not want to fight.
I want to fight with you. Fight with me. Fight for me.
Go home, Charlotte.
All right, y'all. Let's talk about that particular scene. I'm about to bring you in, Tamika, so you can go first. Let's talk about that scene right there. That scene tore me up inside. I ain't gonna lie, I was crying. I was like,
yeah, because I was with her. I was trying to figure out what was happening with George. And for a minute there, I was like, was he gay? Because
that's what I was thinking too.
It was like the princess and her council kept insinuating things and saying, well, we know he's not, necessarily normal, or he doesn't do things a certain way. And they was like, are we sure that they actually consummated the marriage, that they actually being together? Of course, that was what they first thought. And then for her, she's there day in, day out, night out, getting dressed, having all these dinners by herself at this big long table. And it's like, okay, well, where the hell is my husband? Like when he first left her there, I'm like, who leaves somebody there on their honeymoon night? Then I thought maybe he was being sensitive to her and the fact that, she's never been with anybody before, and wanting to be delicate, and she had this long ride. But then when he didn't come back for days, I'm like, well, what exactly is going on? So I was with her when she was like, listen, I thought you was going to be at a brothel or have something going on. He like, well, what do you know about that? And she's like, you basically choosing to look at stars instead of being with me. So that was like really out there. Like, I get you saying you into science and astronomy and all that, that's fine, but child, what's going on with me and you in this marriage?
Okay. Well, she was, and then we find out in that part right there that that she's only 17. So there's
right.
that she doesn't know, but for 17, she definitely, she definitely knows a lot, and
yes,
she did good for 17. I don't know very many 17-year-olds that could have done what she did. She did it. Mushi, what you think about that particular scene?
I liked how she basically really wanted to fight for this in the beginning, because and she really wanted to try to get to know him and know what he liked and everything. She was trying to really get it. She really wanted to be a part of his life. That's what I liked about it.
Yeah.
And what Moses, I like that once she did find out what was going on with him, she was still trying to figure out him and understand him and cope with and learn how to cope with him and learn how to deal with him.
Exactly. Let's see what Amber's saying. I was constantly suspicious of something wrong with George from the beginning. They aren't going to make some simple love. I did think he was cheating at first. I ain't gonna lie, I thought he was gay. That's really what I thought.
That's what I thought he was. I thought he was gonna have a whole, him and his lover would have been in there when she came there.
Right.
I was like, and then when we finally found out what it was, I was like, now, come on now, EJ, you could have, you didn't have to go there, because I was like, I was there. I was like, major. Honestly, young Charlotte was made to be a queen. She was so strong in her strength, and her love made her an amazing woman. Absolutely.
Yes, I agree.
All right, let's bring up the next clip. Let me see.
Your Majesty, thank you so very much for the...
You refused my brother. Give him hope of union, of happiness, then break his heart at my ball, in my home.
Your Majesty,
His humour may lack.
So this was toward the end, y'all, and this was when we, Lady Agatha was trying to be very mindful of her friend, because they made this thing where they were going to be friends now. So she didn't want to go to her with her issues, and I completely understood that. Although if my friend is the queen, I'm telling y'all right now, I'm gonna tell it. I'm gonna be like, look, queen, they trying to lose my title. I'm gonna need you to make sure that I don't lose my title. So I would have had to sneak that in, but I understood where she was coming from. And I have all brothers, so I probably would have been on the same energy about my brother. But in the end, she's like, he'll be fine. But she was concerned about, why didn't you come to me? Why didn't you say anything? And then we hear her say Lady Danbury, which solidifies then that she gets to keep her title.
Yes.
Extremely happy about that. What did you think about that whole situation?
Well, I love their friendship. I love the conversations they have. I like that Lady Danbury was always real with her. She was like, yes, please be real with me. Nobody else is. She was the first one she was able to go to and talk to about things. And when she wanted to leave the palace, it was funny when she thought she was going to come there and stay with her. She like, girl, you really trying to get me in trouble? Like, you can't stay here. And she said to her, we friends. She said, no, I'm not your friend. I'm one of your confidants, and hopefully we could form a friendship. I'm one of your subjects or whatever. But hopefully we could form a friendship in the future. And I think she started to look at it different and didn't want to tell her, it seemed like she's always coming to her with an issue for her to fix or whatever. Because when she asked her, is there anything I could do for you? It's been a lot that you've been dealing with. Your kids lost their father too. I thought she was going to tell her, but then she just was like, no, you sitting here with me and talking with me is enough. So I understood both their sides. I understood Charlotte, being upset that her brother's heartbroken, but she did say, he will be okay. But she was like, what's making me even madder is that you didn't think you could come to me and tell me what was going on and what your concerns are. Like, I'm here for y'all. Y'all my people. So
Exactly.
I loved all that.
Story come with all the facts, y'all. George is the first member of the monarch to study science. Shut up with that. AG says, but I hate that Charlotte did not know about George's mental health until after they were married. Such deception. Now that is true. That is a very, very true. But you know, we all know why they had to do it. I don't know brother would have put her in that situation because we did see that part when she writes the letter, right? We thinking that she writing to her husband, but she done stuck a letter in there to her brother,
right?
To come and get her, and because that sounds like some stuff a sister would do. Can you
yes.
Right down. I don't want to be here no more.
And he came there like, "What's wrong? What's going on? Everything okay?"
Exactly. Moochie, talk to us about just about that scene in general while we're talking about it. Charlotte was going through a hard time. You know, she was pregnant. Just talk about that whole thing, how she calls her brother and all that. What you thought about that?
Where he was like, "Look, you can't move. You like precious cargo. It'll be like you kidnapping somebody. You cannot leave here. You're gonna have to work this out." I like that he came there. You know, I love you, but you can't leave right now. Not in this delicate situation.
Exactly. And he didn't even know she was pregnant. Did y'all notice that's when he found out that she was very pregnant in that moment? Yeah, it was.
Yeah. Otherwise I think he really would have came and got her.
Yeah. He was like, unless is there something going on? I was like, okay.
Right.
Like, she kept her secret. She kept it secret.
Exactly. So, Tamika, go ahead. I'm gonna play this scene. My daughter trying to call me. Go ahead. I'm gonna play this scene and then talk about the scene. And give me just a sec, y'all.
Okay.
All right. Let me play it real quick. We got to talk about the doctor.
Any titles you have, or whether you are God's own representative on Earth. In here, you are just another animal in a cage.
Just like an animal, I will break you.
Yeah, I did not like that Dr. Lord.
Yeah, go ahead, Tamika.
No, I didn't like him. I know that back then, you know, medicine was definitely different. They had different techniques and different ways they went about things. And because nobody probably fully understood what was even happening with George, you know, and we got all these other doctors that was coming in, and all of them had different theories and ways that they thought it should be handled. And then for whatever reason, when this doctor spoke up and he seemed to have a way with George, the princess was all for it. And then George, I guess, felt like, well, we tried everything else. Let me try this. And he was willing to just submit and let this doctor do whatever the heck he wanted to do. And he was giving me mad scientists. I was like, nah, get this man up out of here. Like, what is going on?
Okay, exactly. Sorry about that, y'all.
No, it's okay.
But yeah, for sure. Like, he was definitely giving out mad scientist vibes. And I also thought, I was like, he is guinea pigging on the king, y'all.
Yes.
You're taking it way too far. Like, way.
He was torturing him to me.
Yeah.
That was mean.
He said, look at this part right here. Let me see.
Your Majesty.
Any titles you have, or whether you are God's own representative on Earth. In here, you are just another animal in a cage.
Just like an animal, I will break you.
And then let's see what other scenes we have.
Heard that the king's doctor was here and apparently figured that she should not settle for anything less. Congratulations, Your Majesty. A joyous day for England.
I got a question because I need to see if y'all saw this the way I saw it. Do y'all think that the doctor said that to him to break him again because he know how fragile he is when he tells him about the baby, when he knows that I don't know, what did y'all think was wrong with him? Because I felt like he had high anxiety. He had like a number of things going on with him. Anxiety at the top of that list, George. But did you think that the doctor was trying to break him in that moment, telling him something so that he knew he would need him again? Like he knew he would go into
Absolutely. That's how I took it.
He paid a lot of money.
You
know, because they thought he was like one of the top doctors. They thought he was really going to find him a cure. But to me, like I said, he used the leeches on him. And then that burning thing was it for me. That was it for me. That was just like torture.
Yeah.
I think he was a quack.
Yep.
I think he was a quack, and he just was you know, some people get a thrill of being in control, and I think that's what it was with him. because he wanted to call when he enjoyed calling him a caged animal.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
Yeah, I agree with
Exactly.
Moochie 100%. And it was probably like he was going to end up with, more patients and get more popular. And they would say, oh, he's the one that helped the king. So, I think it was more about his status and him having power and control
Mm-hmm.
as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think the queen might have wanted to take his head off because she made the statement when she comes there, when she goes to see him after, after she ran away, and then she decides to go and see him, and I don't know, I cried again, y'all, when she was hollering like set him up, and she's very emotional and she's pregnant, and then he just kind of falls in her arm. Man, that had me. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I was in another set of tears over that particular scene. But she said something about, um, she made it seem like she would do more to him. For now, you fired, but I felt like
Mm-hmm.
she was there. I ain't even gonna lie. Let's see
We have this half.
what other scenes.
Then we shall make it the very best half. I love you. 'Tis enough. I am your queen, and as long as I am so, I shall never leave your side. You are king.
Aww.
I like that she really loved him. That's what I liked about it.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and expand upon that, Moochie.
I just like that she really loved him. I just like that once she got to know him, and then once she saw what his illness, how she learned how to deal with his illness. She learned how to cope with it. Not so that way she wanted him staying in the house. They stayed there together. I like that she moved him there. It was just so much that I liked about her, and I'm glad that his mother saw how she was, and she thanked her. I like that she thanked her for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a very, very. I love that particular part of it too. Do
Yeah.
y'all remember where where she overhears him and his mom talking, and we know that he's fallen for her at this point, but she
Mm-hmm.
overhears him talking, and he's really upset, and he's about to go into another fit, but he's trying to hold it together, and she overhears it, and then that's the moment where they disconnect again, and then they come up with these
Mm-hmm.
even days. Man, I was just sitting up there looking at the TV like, come on, man, we just get it together. Like, what is going on? Can we just talk
Right.
about something? Like, I was so saddened by that whole situation, but I don't know. I really just I like them together. I think for me, I thought something totally different about their relationship, and it was complete opposite of it. But I'm about to play this scene for you so you can talk about it. Give me 1 sec. I gotta find it. Okay, here we go. Okay, y'all. So, of course, they're playing I Will Always Love You. So, I had to cut this part out, but I thought this was really important. I really don't know if Reynolds is still alive or not because we see Brinsley dancing by himself. So, they never really mentioned that, or maybe I just missed it. Y'all let me know. Let's talk about Brinsley and Reynolds. What did you think about this love story within a love story? How did you feel about what did you think about the ending? Do you think that Reynolds is dead? Like, where Reynolds?
That's what I was thinking. I definitely was curious, like, where's Reynolds? What happened to him? I was thinking maybe he died. I wish they would have showed us something. You could tell that, Brinsley was reminiscing and having his own moment, and even the way he looked back, like, just feeling like, dag, I'm here by myself. We didn't make it to forever. We aren't still here together with them because we know that they had that conversation. And I think, like we was mentioning before a little earlier, with the queen even asking him, you never decided to settle down, you never had any family, you never had any. He just was like, oh no, who the heck would have time for me when I'm here? And us being devoted to the king and living for the king is all that this is about. That's what my life is. But knowing that he actually did have somebody that he loved, and now he was by himself, I was like, oh, that was sad, man. I definitely did want to know what happened to Reynolds, though. I wish they would have expanded on that a little bit more.
Yeah.
And I liked that when they had those moments where they could sneak away, like Moochie was mentioning earlier, when Queen Charlotte and, the king finally did get together, when they would have their moments together, they was like, let's take advantage and go have our moments too, and they would go sneak off. So I liked all of that part of it. And I definitely loved seeing Queen Charlotte and George once they got on the same page and they was like, we a team, we in this together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Literary fact. Lady Danbury is a fictional character created by Julia Quinn for the Bridgerton book series. So
Wow.
she did a good job with her.
I love that she's giving us so many of these.
She coming with the facts.
I love the fun facts.
All the facts. Okay, y'all. So we got to talk about this because there was a point where we find out that that because Violet is in this as well, and for those of us who have seen Bridgerton, we know that Violet is the mother of the Bridgerton children.
Mm-hmm.
And we meet a young Violet who was adorable, actually. Like, I was like, okay, I like her. I liked how smart she was and that her dad wasn't, like, kind of push that down like her mother was. Her mother just didn't seem like she wanted her to be. It was
She was definitely a daddy's girl.
Mm-hmm. But what did y'all think about this Lady Danbury and Ledger? Like, what'd you think about that, girl?
Yeah, that was interesting. I wouldn't have saw that coming if they didn't show it and tell me that that's what was going down. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. And no shade to, Violet. She's a nice lady. I like her, and I like the friendship that her and Lady Danbury was having. But I was like, how much younger was she than them? Because, baby, she was looking just as old. I was like, black don't crack, okay? I'm just saying. And, but I like the friendship that they was having too, and that she felt like she could open up to her. And then, of course, it got a little awkward when she realized, like, wait a minute, my daddy was out here making you hats. What's going on here? And I like the, she's telling her, like, listen, my garden needs some water in now. I just liked all of that part of, their friendship. And I like seeing, of course, a little bit more of Lady Danbury and what was going on and what was happening. I was like, okay. She was like, yeah, I was definitely, but she also was able to tell Violet, like, because Violet, had her love with her husband and now he's gone and she's feeling a way about that and missing him. And so when Lady Danbury was like, you're fortunate, she kind of took offense to that to a certain degree. And Lady Danbury had to break it down to her and say, you fortunate because you know what love is. You actually have somebody you could share something with for years. Whereas with me, honey, I was not, satisfied, happy, none of that you had. I was just forced into this situation. And so I did not have the experience you had. And so she had to look at it from her perspective. And I think they just both, had a mutual respect for each other. So I like it.
Yeah, definitely. And Tina, yeah, I was feeling the whole garden. I was cracking up with that garden. Let me bring you in. Okay, so we got Lord Ledger. Do you think that that this is her, the one that got away? Do you think this might be her epic love? I mean, she held on to this hat for forever. Do you think this might have been the one?
Yeah, because she cared for him. I think that was the one that got away to her.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they had something. I think they had something. Really do.
Yeah, because she was actually in love with him, I think. Because remember when her and her husband was like that, they wasn't. She gave a different performance with this guy. That's what it was.
Yes, she did. When I was like, I said they finna do it. That's what I said, girl. I said, oh,
yep, she was do it. She was doing it. She was riding it and everything.
Okay, because she was like, forget this. I'm not about to look up at this wall again. Forget that. Ember said Lord Ledger was great. I wish they could have had time together or that Violet's mom would have passed. But then I had to laugh at that part. Like, she got to go. But then the flash forward had Violet questioning who bloomed Danbury's garden. I know, and right?
He liked her when she was married.
You see how he came and danced with her at the ball? I mean, you can tell that something that had built up.
He liked her from the day he saw her.
Exactly. Did you see the way the wife looked when Violet goes to wave at her at the Queen's ball, and she's like, "Hey," and when she talks about how how she looks, and her mama wasn't feeling it at all. But they say
Yeah, to be honest, y'all, I didn't catch that the first time. I had rewatched it again today, and I
I
noticed
didn't see,
that part.
I didn't see
And I
that.
was like, oh, he already was eyeing her.
Oh yeah, he
Yeah,
was eyeing her from
yeah.
the jump. The
Yeah,
part that you was talking about, I can't remember though like that because
yeah.
I only watched it like one time.
No worries, no worries. I had 2 times in the game. I watched that first episode about 4 times because that was when I was telling you that I was trying not to watch it. I was only trying to watch it.
Right.
So I was looking at that episode over and over again. Let's see.
Yeah.
The So we talked about Lady Danbury because that was really important part in Ledger. It was something else that I had on here that I really wanted to talk about. Let me see if I can find it. We already talked about the Queen. Let me see that I play that part. Give me a second. Oh, we got to talk about this right here. That's what I want to talk about. This right here.
We come bearing news.
Thank you.
Okay,
I
y'all.
like her character too.
Yes, yes. So, okay, so here's the thing. We see everything that she went through as a young person. She was 17 years old when she was kind of deceived into this marriage that she didn't, that she really wasn't prepared for, even though she handled it like a G, like honestly. But she was kind of thrown into this, but she fell in love with this man at the end of the day. So her allegiance and loyalty has been to him and taking care of him, which has which has left the children neglected. Tamika, you talked about earlier about how a lot of times the nannies are the ones that are really raising the children. There's a moment where two of her children come to her and they're like, look, like I've lost babies, I've done this, I've done that. Like we're trying because she's pushing for this heir. You know why she wants it. She doesn't want to see her husband's bloodline in. And I get that. But what did you think about just all of it in general, like the way that she was pushing for the heir, and then this moment when she does this really nurturing motherly thing? You go ahead and start, Moochie. You already up there.
Well, I like the fact that she was happy that they was pregnant. But her son was like, well, you weren't really a mother to us when he said all of that to her before. So I think she was glad to get some sort of affection from him.
Exactly. let me read these. I love that part. The kids needed a mother in the Queen. Like Brinsley said, they all served and were faithful to the king, but no one else. And that is very, very true. I think I'm going to bring you in to talk about that, about just that whole situation in general, as far as her ties to the king and then her ties to her children.
Yeah, her and her kids' dynamic was interesting to me because even when she brought them in and was saying like, none of you guys are giving me an heir, y'all not married. The son's obviously just been out here hoeing in the streets. And she's like, it's time for y'all to settle down. Y'all getting up there in age and all of that kind of stuff. And the fact that she didn't know that they had lost kids, she's like, no, I didn't know that. So obviously she wasn't around for everything, wasn't having certain conversations. It also was interesting to me that they all seemed shocked when she started telling them, like, you listen, y'all gonna have to get married. I'm setting up some marriages here. So as opposed to how her generation and, Lady Danbury and all of them generation, where they were literally being taught that this is what happens, when you get older and we already know who you're going to be married to. She obviously didn't do that with her kids because they seemed real shocked by that. And they was like, we don't even know these people. And I was like, that's usually how it works. So it was interesting that, they was taking it that perspective, even though I definitely understood it. I would not want to marry somebody I don't know either. But it just showed that she really didn't pass down those things to them. And then when they called her out and was like, you wasn't a mother to us. And, you know, she make me laugh because Charlotte going to stick to herself no matter what. She's like, no, I was a good queen and I was a good mother, right? But, you know, Brinsley, he didn't want to say nothing. He just was like, oh, all your kids is wonderful. And she like, you know, don't just sit here and beat me in the head. Speak the truth. So that was the only way he knew how to say it, is to just say, you know, you did what all queens do, right? And that's not a bad thing. You just basically, we all was devoted to the king. So then that moment when she's like hugging him and all excited and happy that they having a baby, I like that. And she was like, you know, because they were like, well, it may be a girl, you know, is that gonna make you upset? She's like, no, shoot, okay, girls, we run the world. Like, I don't mind having a queen. So I loved all of that.
Apple Pie Alamo said, but in her defense, she just got too
many. She did have too many kids. There's no way you're gonna give all them daggone kids attention, child. I'm sorry.
And then to be dealing with what she's dealing with at the same time. Charlotte didn't know George.
Yeah. But, she literally was learning as she was going. It's not like she knew, you know, so.
Exactly. No, I feel the same exact way. I feel like with that whole situation with the children, you see this thing where, you know, they show us this epic love between George and between Charlotte, you know, but then these kids, and we see these kids, you got one smoking, one laying, and hey, you know, like what you know, like basically they're just all over the place. But when you see, you know, Charlotte, she doesn't see, and even the older, the Queen Charlotte, you know, the older Queen Charlotte, she doesn't seem like the type of person that's running this lax ship, you know, but you can tell that what's going on with George has definitely left these kids kind of to do whatever the heck they want to do.
Right.
And I don't think she really noticed that she was doing this. I don't think that she realized. She literally, truly thought she was being a good mom. And until Brent presents it the way he presents it, you know, she finally sees it. And when she hugs her son the way that she hugs him, and he's looking like he don't know what to do because you and he hugs her. I thought that was one of the best moments because it wasn't a malicious, I don't want to be a mom to you, I'm not trying to nurture you. It was literally the circumstances behind it. And like you said, she got 13 of them. I mean, I can't even imagine. It's hard trying to nurture all 13 of those children. But you know, I just thought this was a really, really great story. I love the Bridgerton series already. And I thought this was a great addition to it. And if I am not mistaken, all my fun factors in there, if I get this wrong, y'all make sure to just, you know, throw it in the chat. But if I'm not mistaken, this is actually Shonda's baby as opposed to of it. This is something that she created based off of those characters. And I thought it was very, very well executed. Y'all go ahead and give me y'all final thoughts on it. If there's something that I missed that y'all want to talk about, y'all let me know. You can go ahead and start, Moochie. You got anything?
I just loved it overall. I would like this. I would definitely want to see. Dang, I can't get her name out. Danbury, that's her name. I would want to see her backstory.
Yeah.
So I would be if it was something like that. If that's the next installment, I'm here for it.
For sure.
Yeah.
What you got?
I definitely enjoyed this. I'm so happy they did it. I second Moochie. I definitely wanted to see Danbury's story. And if y'all could tell us whatever happened with Queen Charlotte's brother, like did he ever fall in love after she broke his heart? Whatever happened with, you know, what was his name? I don't forgot his name that fast, y'all. That we just was talking about that was in love with Brinsley.
Oh, Reynolds.
If we could ever find out what's going to happen with them, because I don't know if they're going to have any other parts of this whole thing or if that's, you know, they leaving it alone. But if there was any other answers we could get, I would want answers on them. And I did like the ending part after she found out that, you know, they was going to be grandparents and she went in to see the king and they kind of, you know, start back where they was at, like he laying underneath that daggone bed and she got down there with him and, you know, it's just like, oh, it's like, that's you, Charlotte. And he's like, you know, and she told him his line was going to continue. And he like, no, our line was going to continue. And they really were a team. She was able to bring out the best in him and he was able to bring out the best in her. So I was here for all of that.
I'll play that part real quick. Let me see if I can find it here.
Just George. Farmer George.
You did not go over the wall.
No, George. I did not go over the wall.
So sweet. Yes, the soundtrack was good too. When they was playing those songs, I said, "Wait a minute!"
Yeah, you could recognize the song. That was great.
That was hot. Yeah.
Yeah, I was literally
like,
just
they was playing Alicia Keys, Beyonce.
Yes, Whitney Houston. They had everything. When they did the Halo was probably one of my favorite ones on there, and I'm still going through the teasers because I gotta go see the teasers. But I mean, when Alicia plays, man, I ain't gonna lie, like Alicia Keys is one of my favorites. And when she plays that piano, and when you combined it with all that orchestra, man, I was just like,
oh yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah,
great.
Absolutely.
So anyway, y'all, I mean, that is pretty much it. Let me jump in the comments real quick. Let me just see if anybody had anything else to say. Let's see. Ember said, I love the soundtrack. Absolutely. Charlotte had to produce heirs and run a kingdom in the absence of her husband and respect from the rules because of her color. Absolutely. So, yeah, no disrespect to Charlotte because she had to do what she had to do. So, something was going on. One thing I think we all know is that you cannot be everything. If you have your hands in so many different baskets, something is going to go lacking. And I think in her case, it was just some kids. There's some big emotional resolution happening in the final dances. Oh yeah, I love the final dances, and yes, you're right. I wonder about a true love story. Definitely a great love story. I love this story. Did y'all know the real Queen Charlotte died, and the king didn't even know it for years after her death? He never.
Aww.
She died.
No, I didn't know that. Prayers, sorrows, prayer. That's gonna be my new saying.
I know that right there was so. I love that part right there, and I had that in there somewhere. I guess you know how it goes sometimes, y'all. I had remixed the whole thing because I put all of them together. Because she said it 3 times, and that last time she was like sorrows, prayers. Like you're getting on my nerves now. Stop crying. But let me finish reading these last comments. Shari said, "Fact nickname of George, the mad kind former George." Oh, that's actually. I mean, I know but at least they didn't call him the Mad King, but the mad kind former. I like that. I love Alicia Keys, and then everyone aren't built the same. My grandmother had 12 children, and I've never heard them say they felt unnurtured. Quite the opposite, but circumstances brought different results. Oh yeah, definitely.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Because
I had a lot of grandmothers and great uncles and great aunts that had 12, 13, 15 and all that too. God bless them all, child.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it just, especially when you can just do the mothering and taking care of home and stuff like that. And maybe even because some people even work, it just depends. Like everybody, it just comes with a different thing. For her, it was the fact that, she was running a country. It's a little bit different, but and she got all these nannies and she got this husband. I mean, it just is what it is. But yeah, I applaud everybody who had more than 5 children. Shoot, I applaud people who got 4. Like,
right. It's a job, baby.
I couldn't do it. And then let's see the last comment. We're gonna read this one. Charlotte had to run the world, honey. Okay, I know that. Okay, y'all.
Absolutely.
That's a good last comment to end with.
Yes.
Thank you, it really is. I think this was an amazing story, guys. So I hope if you haven't seen it, I know there are a few people in the chat that said they hadn't seen it. Please go and take a look at it. You will definitely like it, especially if you like love stories. So definitely give it a try. Thank you, panel, for coming out and talking about this. Let me know what y'all got going on y'all channels, and then we're gonna get up out of here. Go ahead, Moochie. You go ahead and start.
Well, I want to go live tomorrow to talk some power news and stuff like that. So it might be in the afternoon. I don't know yet, but I do have a recap uploaded for Yellow Jackets, and I have another video coming for that as well. And when Power airs, the actual episode that everybody's seen, but I'll leave it at that.
What about you, Tamika? What you got going on?
Yeah, I'm gonna do my review on Power like I normally do on Friday, and like Moochie said, we did Yellow Jackets yesterday, so if y'all didn't see that, check that out. If y'all didn't see the trivia on Saturday, check that out. I'm probably gonna do a self-care maybe this Saturday coming, because normally I've only been doing them once a month, but since I got a little bit more time and May is mental health awareness month, I was thinking about doing something kind of dedicated to that. So just look out for that and keep your notifications on.
Okay. All right, y'all. Well, that is what's up with Queen Charlotte, y'all. Once again, thank everybody for coming out. Shout out to Apple Pie a la Mode. Shout out to AG, Candy Love, Shari. Shout out to you, girl, because I already know. Shari, definitely doing big things. So proud of you. I'll tell y'all about that when we get off the thing. And then let's see who else we got in here. Ember, thank you for coming by. Tina, thank you for coming by. We got Tam, thank you for coming by. Veta, appreciate you. And then anybody else who was in here that I may have missed. Y'all know I don't have my glasses on. It's not intentional. But guys, we're going to get up out of here. And we'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.
All right, y'all.
Take it away, take it away.